This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good morning, it's Thursday, November 27, 2025. INEC's continuous voter registration is still ongoing, so if you haven't signed up yet, this is still a good time to do it and get ready to vote. On the news this hour, former President Jonathan trapped in Guinea-Bissau after military takeover. President Tinubu declares nationwide emergency on security, urges National Assembly to legalize state police. River State government raises concern over rising cases of child trafficking. On the foreign scene, former Peruvian President Vizcarra sentenced to 14-year imprisonment for corruption. Details of these and more after this break. The news. Now we begin the news this morning with development from Guinea-Bissau. Former President Goodluck Jonathan is trapped in Guinea-Bissau after the military announced a takeover on Wednesday. He is among hundreds of foreign election observers who cannot leave the country. Daily Trust reports that many observers rushed to the airport after hearing about the coup, but they are now stranded. A group of military officers has declared that they are now in total control of the country. This came a day after the two main candidates in the election, President Omaro Sissoko Embalo and Fernando Diaz, both claimed victory, calling themselves the High Military Command for the Restoration of Order. The officers suspended the election process, closed all borders, and declared a nighttime curfew. Moving on, President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday declared a nationwide security emergency. The president also ordered more recruitment into the Nigerian armed forces and the police. The police, he says, will recruit an additional 20,000 officers. The president says he has already approved upgrades to police training facilities and has now allowed security agencies to use NYSC camps for training. Tinubu adds that officers being pulled from VIP guard duties will get intensive crash training to prepare them for deployment to areas facing serious security challenges. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu is asking the National Assembly to review current laws so that states can set up their own police forces to help tackle rising insecurity in the country. In a statement on Wednesday, he is also urging schools and religious centers in remote or high-risk areas to maintain a constant police presence for safety. And at the National Assembly, the Senate has passed a resolution making kidnapping a form of terrorism. They say the Terrorism Act should be changed so that anyone convicted of kidnapping can get the death penalty. The resolution was made during plenary on Wednesday. According to the Senate, once someone is found guilty of kidnapping, the death penalty must be applied. Well, in the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has nominated 3 non-Korea ambassadors for Nigeria's missions in the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. The nominees are Ayodele Oke, retired Colonel Lateef Are, and Amin Dalhatu. Tinubu's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said on X that the appointment will be finalized after the Senate screens and approves them. The president had sent the nominees to the Senate on Wednesday for confirmation. And now, back here in River State, the River State Police Command has dismissed reports of an influx of suspected herdsmen and attacks on communities in the state as false. A viral social media video claimed herders were attacked by Ijaw youth in an undisclosed location. Police spokesperson Grace Iringikoko says the video was created by mischief makers to cause panic. She's urging residents to ignore the video and avoid sharing unverified content. The command assures that no herdsmen attacks occurred and that it remains committed to protecting lives and maintaining peace in the state. Still on security concerns, some students of the Rivers State University on Wednesday morning protested at the Emoha campus, demanding to be moved to the main Port Harcourt campus. The protest followed repeated armed robbery attacks on student lodges and an attempted rape of female students. The students first gathered at the school gate before marching to the residence of the paramount ruler of Emoha Kingdom, or her Sergeant Awuse, to raise their concerns. One of the female students whose room was attacked spoke to a correspondent.
We were shouting, calling to begging them. But they refused. They still came to the kitchen, we refused to open the door. They decided to pass to the back, that they will come to the window and come and meet us if we refused to open the door. That was one of my classmates. He heard the noise. When immediately they noticed that somebody was coming out from the house, they attacked the boy, beat him. They came with matches, they cut the boy all over his body, entered his house, robbed him, collected money and his phone. That was when they later came back to our house again. Before then, they started making alarm. Then people came out. That they ran away.
The male student who was stabbed while helping the girls also spoke.
I heard loud noise. So when I heard the noise, I came out to check what was happening. When I came out to check, from robbers started beating me. I was really afraid to come back. So when they finished beating me, they very broken in the girl house and they collected my phone and some of my properties. When they finished beating me, they went back to that place. Why they were about that was when other people came out and they ran away. I was trying to defend the case to the compound. Let Amma to scatter their protectors. They used their check on me.
When contacted, the Vice Chancellor of the Rivers State University, Professor Isaac Zeb Obibi, said he will provide a formal response. Well, in the meantime, the chairman of Emoha local government area, Dr. Chida Lloyd, has condemned the recent attacks on the student. He clarified that the incident did not occur within the university premises. To prevent future attacks, he says his administration will document all students living in the communities and their landlords. Lloyd warns that once documentation is complete, any further attacks on students will attract sanctions, holding landlords responsible.
What they are protesting is the harassment from some street urchins who reside in the community. This incident happened sometime in 2003 when I was first chairman, and my attention was drawn to it. We quickly arrested the person who committed the offense. Henceforth, we shall document students and know where they live, know who their landlords are, so that any attack on any student, the landlord will be held responsible.
We go on a quick break. When we return, Rivers State government raises concern over rising cases of child trafficking. Stay with us.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. The secretary to the Rivers State government, Dr. Benibo Anabraba, says Governor Siminalayi Fubara remains committed to giving children and young people quality education. Dr. Anabraba said this on Wednesday while receiving the Deputy Registrar and Zonal Coordinator of WAEC, Ayofemi Adeniro Amoson, in Port Harcourt. Now, he says the governor is investing heavily in the education sector to improve teaching and learning in the state. He adds that this is why the government is paying for free WAEC registration for students in all public schools. In another development, the Rivers State government says it is worried about the rising cases of child trafficking, abuse of underage girls, and unregulated surrogacy in the state. The government says it will introduce new laws to stop the trend. Secretary to the state government, Dr. Benibo Anabraba, said this during a meeting with a team from NAPTIP led by the Assistant Director of Intelligence for River State, Ikedia Shinwamaka. Anabraba praised NAPTIP for protecting vulnerable people, but said recent reports from some orphanages and care homes are very disturbing. And now to environmental concerns. The Secretary of the Bile Council of Chiefs in Degema local government area of River State, Luckyman Egila, says there is a suspected gas leak in the area near a flow station. Luckyman Egila told correspondent to Buruare that they reported the gas leak to the authorities, but nothing has been done for more than 10 days.
Is that there should be a JIV. They should come in and check. Before this thing will just blow off. As we know, there have been fires in several oil locations. It's affecting various communities because if it happens, it's going to affect most of our satellite communities. There's a satellite community very, very close to the station, Gugubama. If it happens, nothing will be spared there. We are calling on Nozra to come in immediately. So we expect them to have acted because the thing is spreading. It keeps spreading.
The community chief said people who live close to the flow station are now running away because they fear there may be an explosion. Now, still on oil spill. The National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency says it has received reports of the improper disposal of base oil and drilling mud in Iribe and Iweche communities in River State by unidentified persons. In a statement, the Director General of Nostra, Emeka Nwoke, warns that such activities pose serious risks to the environment, public health, and public safety, and also violate the agency's oil spill and oily waste management regulations. Nwoke said the agency has begun preliminary site assessments and environmental sampling in collaboration with the River State Ministry of Environment and other relevant stakeholders. Moving on now, the family of the late Chief Timothy Mayeziwe Makele in Ekinibo Kingdom, Obiakpo local government area, is asking the chairman of the River State Council of Traditional Rulers, Ifechukwu Nwaluwodo, to stay away from their father's traditional burial rites. The elder son, Wenenda Makele, says the family does not recognize Ezenwaluwodo as their traditional ruler and explained that their late father never believed in his leadership. His reaction follows a disagreement over which faction of the traditional group should receive the late chief's corpse after Ezenwaluwodo reportedly petitioned the DSS, claiming his own council of chiefs is the rightful group to do so during the burial scheduled for November 29, 2025. Wenenda Makele insists that his father belonged to the Council of Chiefs led by Eze Gift Eziho Johnson, and therefore only that council has the right to perform the traditional burial rites.
Late Chief T.M. Makele has never believed in Chike Oluodo, and we, the children of late Chief T.M. Makele, we have never believed that he is the Royal Majesty because we know the custom and tradition of Rumigbo. We believe in Eze Gift Ezio Johnson. He is the person that will receive my father's corpse. Advice to Chike Oluodo is to stay clear from receiving my father's corpse. He does not belong to his cabinet.
Meanwhile, the spokesman of Eze Ezio Johnson's palace, Eze Chinedu Amadi, who spoke on behalf of the council, is calling on Governor Siminalayi Fubara, the Commissioner of Police, and other security agencies to caution Eze Nwaoluwodo. He said Eze Nwaoluwodo should allow the late chief's family to decide who should handle the traditional burial rites.
Clan Council of Chiefs, under the leadership of His Royal Majesty, Eze Gift Ezio Johnson, Eze Hapana IV, and paramount ruler of Apana Kingdom, wish to draw the attention of the Executive Governor of Rivers State Security Agency to call Eze Chike Oluodo to order from disrupting Eze Gift Ezio Johnson from receiving the corpse of late T.M. Makele at the Ancient Palace, Rumigbo. We advise Eze Chike Oluodo to allow Makele family to decide who receives the remains of their father for the sake of peace.
Well, in other news, the Christ Compassion to the Rural World Foundation has given out over 80,000 packs of relief materials to River State residents during its nightly crusade. Many describes this gesture as an act of true selfless love. Matthew Ashimolowo, the convener of CCRWF, who helped supervise the distributions, told journalists he is impressed by the attendees' cooperation. He calls Port Harcourt the most blessed of all the places the foundation has done outreaches, saying more than 40,000 worshippers have given their lives to Christ during the program.
To be a blessing to the people of Rivers State. Just as we said we would do, we are already carrying out our vision. We believe God sent us here, and we thank God for a beautiful weather, good flow. Everyone is cooperating. People are receiving are happy. They are cooperating. The workers are amazing. The people who serve with us, the police, the army, they are doing a good job. Port Harcourt is turning out to be one of the most blessed outreach we have ever done.
Now, some beneficiaries spoke during the distribution, saying the initiative is the first of its kind, and they're praising CCRWF for bringing hope and smiles to their lives.
So grateful to the man of God. I say, may the mighty God, Almighty God, continue to bless him more and more. Him who remembered to share, give to even nothing one like us. I stand here to thank God on behalf of his son, that he made him to realize that there are people that is in need, and the things that he giving unto us, that God should satisfy him with long life. The program, I enjoy them because of the thing where they do through the preaching. Now I tell the pastor thank you because he do me well.
Ever since I've been attending programs whereby they do things like this. This is a different form entirely, whereby you will see people being staffaged. But in this case now, this man is a different man.
Correspondent Joyce Amada reports that earlier, courtesy visits were made to patients who had free surgeries at various hospitals in Port Harcourt, including 50 inmates from the Nigerian Correctional Service. Now, surgeries include cataract, hernia growth, and fibroid procedures. Relief items distributed so far include packs, buckets, rice, beans, curry, salt, oil, and soap. The outreach will continue through Saturday, November 29th. We're going another short commercial break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the news. Peruvian court on Wednesday sentenced former President Martin Vizcarra to 14 years in prison for taking bribes while he was regional governor. Vizcarra, who led the fight against corruption as president from 2018 to 2020, was found guilty of accepting about $640,000 from construction companies between 2011 and 2014 to give them public contract in the Mokwa region. On the news this morning, you heard former President Goodluck Jonathan is trapped in Guinea-Bissau after a military takeover on Wednesday. We told you that President Bola Tinubu has declared a nationwide emergency on security and is urging the National Assembly to legalize state police. We reported that the Rivers State government is raising concern over the rising cases of child trafficking. And on the foreign scene, former Peruvian President Vizcarra has been sentenced to 14-year imprisonment for corruption. The news was edited by Ifunaya Ubeme Ndukwe. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili. Many thanks for listening.